Story recapped here. Today, I'm going to show you an action, adventure, sci-fi film called Armageddon. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. On a routine mission repairing a satellite, a team of astronauts suddenly get bombarded by high-speed projectiles, damaging their shuttle and killing them instantly. NASA is caught in complete surprise by the sudden tragedy, but they immediately start an investigation. They spot a large number of incoming bogies headed for the eastern United States. In New York, people are going about their daily business when huge balls of fire rain upon the city. The streets are filled with panic, people are running for their lives, and buildings are destroyed. Within a matter of seconds, the city is reduced to a fiery mess of rubble and debris. At NASA, Missions Director forThem addresses the US President on the situation. They found that the meteor shower that hit the astronauts and the eastern United States was the front end of a massive asteroid. The incoming asteroid, according to their estimates, is about the size of the state of Texas. Bob warns the president that the meteor has the potential to end all life on the planet, calling it a global killer. They have just 18 days to figure out a solution before it hits. On an offshore oil drilling platform in the South China Sea, company owner Harry Stamper plays golf. He tries to hit a small barge of protesting activists, laughing at them, pointing out how their barge consumes a large amount of diesel every hour they protest. His crewmate, Chick, informs him that one of the drills has malfunctioned and Harry immediately knows it's AJ's fault. Harry heads to AJ's quarters and barges in. AJ springs up from bed and apologizes for what happened. Harry is immediately suspicious as AJ never apologizes this quickly. He quickly suspects something and upon inspection, sees his daughter Grace in AJ's bed. Harry gets his shotgun and chases AJ through the platform, shooting at him. AJ dodges the shots, and tries to tell Harry that he's in love with Grace. Harry doesn't listen and keeps shooting until a ricochet hits AJ. Grace rushes in and tries to help. At NASA, everyone is trying to figure out a solution for the incoming asteroid. They exhaust their ideas, ranging from placing solar sails on the asteroid, to firing lasers, but nothing seems like a viable option. Back on the platform, Grace scolds Harry, telling him he can't keep controlling her life. As they entertain clients, Grace tells Harry that she likes AJ and her decision to be with him stands. She argues that she's been around roughnecks all her life, and it would not be so strange for her to fall for one. In NASA's meeting room, heads of the military meet with scientists, and head of research Dr. Ronald Quincy proposes a solution. The presidential advisors suggest firing multiple nuclear rockets at the asteroid to change the trajectory, but Ronald advises against it. At the asteroid's current size and velocity, the rockets would do very little. He suggests drilling into the asteroid and placing a nuclear warhead inside it. Upon detonation, the asteroid would break apart and miss the planet. For this, they would need the help of the best deep-core drilling team on the planet. The military then arrives at Harry's drilling platform and takes him and Grace to NASA. Bob then briefs Harry and Grace on the situation and asks them for help regarding the plan to drill into the asteroid. Bob shows Harry a prototype drill, and Harry immediately recognizes it as his design. Bob tells Harry they're intending to send 2 teams of astronauts, and Harry has to train them to use the drill since he's the best at drilling. Harry then responds saying he's only the best because of his team. He offers help but would rather have him and his team be sent out to space rather than the astronauts. He informs Bob that drilling is an extremely difficult job and can only be perfected through years of experience. Bob agrees and Harry lists everyone he wants on the team. The FBI then picks up Bear, Max, Rockhound, Oscar, Chick, and AJ. Bob gathers them and informs them of the impending doom. They're all mortified to know about the asteroid and the suicidal plan to save the planet but realize they don't have a choice but to say yes. The team is then placed through a rigorous physical and psychological evaluation process, and everyone fails almost every aspect of the evaluation. Bob, seeing the results, still says they should move forward. The team later meets Colonel Willie, who will train them on the mental and physical rigors of spaceflight. The team is placed in high-speed fighter jets and subjected to neck-breaking speeds to simulate gravitational forces. The team then trains underwater to simulate weightlessness. They also meet other various trainers, preparing them for other aspects of the mission. At the mission briefing, they learn that they'll intercept the asteroid with help from the moon's gravity. The 2 shuttle teams would then land at different locations and start drilling to 800 feet before placing the nuclear bomb inside, taking off, and detonating the bomb remotely. They must detonate the bomb before a certain point, after which the asteroid would still hit Earth even after getting blown up. The 2 teams will both get their own drills outfitted to a Martian exploration rover dubbed the Armadillo. Later, Harry looks for Grace and he finds her with AJ at the flight hangar. He sees them sharing an intimate moment and decides not to disturb them. AJ later proposes to Grace. The rest of the team sees Harry, and they confront him about his treatment of Grace. They tell Harry that he should loosen up on Grace and allow her to grow up. Bear argues that they feel like they all helped raise Grace and believe they should be heard. They perform underwater simulation, with the team being split into two. AJ, Oscar, and Bear would be with the shuttle Independence. Harry, Chick, Rockhound, and Max would be on board the shuttle Freedom. After a training mishap, Harry confronts AJ and warns him this is no time for any errors. Harry then requests some time to let the team spend time with their families. The day of the launch comes and the whole world holds its breath for the brave souls launching into the stars to save humanity. The president gives an address wishing luck to the men. The teams get into their respective shuttles and get into position for launch. The shuttles launch successfully and they later dock with the Rashuan space station to refuel. They meet with cosmonaut Lev and drop off and set up the fuel transfer. Lev tasks AJ to head down to the fuel pod. A leak occurs and the fuel pod catches fire. Chaos erupts and everyone rushes back to their shuttles to evacuate. AJ and Lev get left behind as everyone makes their way back. The two men make their way through a small shaft and eventually get to the shuttle in the nick of time. As Independence and Freedom fly off, the Russian space station breaks apart. The two shuttles initiate a slingshot maneuver around the moon, enduring fatal gravity forces and make a path for the asteroid. They finally spot the asteroid and both teams are in awe of what they're seeing. The two shuttles then try to land but run into a large debris field. Independence takes a hit and NASA listens helplessly as the men call out. Rocks bombard the shuttles and the crew on the Independence try to make their way to the cargo bay but the shuttle loses all control. Independence crashes and all hands appear to be lost. Freedom also crash lands into the asteroid a few minutes later. The Freedom crew is all accounted for but have missed their landing zone and landed on an impenetrable portion of the asteroid. NASA struggles to regain radio contact with both shuttles. Under the wreckage of the Independence shuttle, AJ finds a dead Oscar. Lev calls out to him and they find Bear. The three men are all that remains of the original shuttle crew. The Freedom crew takes out their armadillo and starts drilling through the hardened surface. They get no farther than 10 feet of drilling before the drill bit breaks. Communication with mission control gets re-established but is faulty. In the Independence, AJ, Bear, and Lev get into their armadillo and begin their journey for the Freedom. The Freedom replaces the drill and immediately starts drilling but the transmission blows up and they have to replace it. Willie asks Harry about the progress and he informs him of the setbacks. Willie then rushes to convey the information to mission control but Harry follows. Harry and Willie get into an altercation and the communication cuts off again. After seeing the drilling has failed, the president orders the remote detonation of the nuclear bomb. The military advises Bob to evacuate the men off the asteroid as they'll have to detonate the bomb in 5 minutes. Bob calls the president telling him detonating the bomb would have no effect on the asteroid's trajectory but the order remains. In the Freedom, the nuclear timer starts beeping and Willie comes in telling everyone to evacuate because the president just activated the bomb. Willie orders Harry to have the men return or else they'll get left behind. Harry tells Willie that if they don't get the bomb into a hole deep enough, the explosion would have minimal effect on the asteroid. Everybody starts shouting and Harry grabs a wrench to break the timer but Willie draws a gun and points it at Harry. Back in NASA, Bob orders one of his men to discreetly deactivate the connection between the signal on Earth and the nuke. They succeed and are able to buy a few minutes of time but the military catch on and bring the timer back online. In Freedom, Harry tries to convince Willie to let them do their job. He tells him that if the nuke explodes now, everyone on Earth would still die. With less than a minute left, Willie decides to help him deactivate the timer manually. They open up the bomb and Willie sifts through wires, trying to disconnect the proper connections. The timer beeps faster, nearing 0, and Willie has to decide which wires to cut. With seconds on the timer, Willie cuts the wire and the timer stops. Freedom re-establishes connection and Harry tells NASA they're going to continue with the mission. The Independence survivors are stranded in a ravine but AJ gets an idea to float over it, using the asteroid's reduced gravity. They throttle up their armadillo and jump the ravine, soaring above it. They soon realize they have no control and the thrusters start malfunctioning. Lev heads out to manually override them and they eventually land safely. The Freedom crew repairs the drill transmission but Rockhound starts screwing around with the equipment. He finds a remote-controlled machine gun and starts firing blindly at the asteroid. Rockhound is clearly experiencing some sort of mental breakdown and believes they'll all die on the asteroid. Harry manages to disable him, but the asteroid starts cracking. This causes the armadillo to explode, launching it into space with Max still inside. They're now left with no drill, and Harry sends word to NASA that they've failed. On Earth, the public is informed and everyone tries to prepare. A huge chunk of the asteroid hits Paris, destroying the city. As Harry and his team prepare to leave, they spot the forThem's armadillo arriving, and they start cheering. They inform NASA and immediately start drilling again. With their final chance, the team works together to get the hole to 800 feet. The team succeeds and now sends the bomb down the hole. The asteroid starts breaking apart and the men get thrown around and some of the men die. Willie sees that the remote detonation for the bomb has been damaged and means that someone would have to remain to detonate the bomb manually. In the shuttle, the men decide to draw straws to see who will do it. AJ draws the short straw. Harry takes AJ down to the asteroid, but as they get down, Harry pulls AJ's oxygen supply and gets forced to return to the shuttle. Harry takes the detonator and tells AJ to take care of Grace. Harry steps out and heads to the bomb. The shuttle prepares to leave and Harry calls Grace. He tells her that he won't be able to return and Grace tells him she loves him. Harry says his final goodbyes and ends the communication. The shuttle engine goes online and the flight begins. They ascend, getting out of the blast range and heading for Earth. On the asteroid, Harry sees the Earth one last time before pressing the button to detonate. The asteroid blows up, breaking apart and passing by the planet, missing the Earth by 400 miles. The forThem announces they'll be heading home. People on Earth witness the spectacular explosion and cheer. The folks at NASA are ecstatic, shouting and cheering, congratulating each other. The shuttle lands successfully and the team is greeted on the runway. AJ and Grace run to each other's arms as the crowd watches meteors fly across the sky. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.